everyone, friends and furs of all species, I'm Daisy Heinen. We're back with another episode of Winds of Change. Now, last time, we went down into the barracks. We saw our new HQ. We got to learn all the new things, read old books, all that stuff. Had a lot of heart-to-hearts with our friends. I couldn't do a few of them. I'll go back later at my own time and do those, but, they gave us a nice little warning that says, there will be a long series of cutscenes, no side content. Please make sure to have a sufficient amount of time to set aside to watch. I'm excited to see this. I really want to get in. Okay, continue story. Okay, let's go, man. I enter the warm room and see Dominic standing over the table. He's moving wooden figures from place to place, forming a strategy. I guess this was my first time seeing him in action. It was impressive.
I'm glad you came, Circe.
He talks to me while he works, displaying grace and lack of effort. It's almost like this is second nature to him. What was he planning? I notice a map on the table with figures scattered about different regions.
So tomorrow we'll begin your training with the Blade of Exodus. But in addition to that, we'll have to train you in swordplay as well. I think Ulrich should be free. I can't really think of a better teacher.
Thank God. I like Ulrich. He eyes the scabbard on my back and the base of the sword.
We think that the more you use it, the more you'll tolerate it. If you're like me, you got overwhelmed the moment you touched it. It's about adapting. Slow exposure will help you become stronger. But we're also in a rush, so I've worked out a schedule for you. It balances both exposure therapy as well as combat training. There's a bit of free time in there too. You'll be needing it.
He points to a paper resting on the war table. I pick it up and start inspecting the contents. It's a detailed itinerary. I'm impressed.
Now, there's one more thing. The spirit idol we discovered is right down there. It's a bit of a walk, so I'll have to show it to you later.
He points to a small exit in the back corner of the room. It almost looks like it's an entrance to a cave. It stands out. They must have dug out a large portion of this room.
It's also where I chose to bury Salus, our former leader. I guess I can be sentimental when it comes to that stuff. It just seemed like the right thing to do, you know?
Yeah.
Now, let's go over your...
Before he could continue, he's immediately cut off. Pro runs into the room, panting heavily, clearly exerted. But there's a hint of fright and concern on his face, too.
Dominic, come quick.
Pro, what's going on? I'm in the middle of a meeting here.
The meeting can wait, Dominic, please. Gryz is here and he's causing a commotion.
What?
What? All right, let's go. We should probably talk to him, Circe. I'm pretty sure I know what he's after.
The idol, right? We all nod to each other and Pro starts leading the way. Whatever was coming our way, I'm sure Dominic could handle it. We run to the atrium to handle this situation as fast as we can. When we arrived, I see Ulrich standing imposingly before Gryz. A good choice. Ulrich could fight off almost anybody.
Stand down, Gryz.
I only want to see Dominic. We had a deal and it's his turn to deliver. Don't forget, I'm the only reason you're down here.
Gryz looks back towards us, noticing our entrance.
Please, Ulrich, stand aside. Insubordination isn't your style.
He tilts his head back towards Dominic. Ulrich turns to look, noticing that we're here. Saying nothing, he turns around and walks away. He rests his back against the wall and simply watches. It seems like almost all of the tension was cut from the air. Those two men in a deadlock was a scary sight to behold.
Good. Now, Dominic, it's time. Unless anybody else wants to challenge me.
Dominic takes slow steps forward, cautious not to make sudden movements. Gryz grips the handle of the hammer resting on his back as if to threaten. Damn!
Now, Gryz, let's remain calm. I fully intend to hold up my end of the bargain. There was just some important business to take care of.
He motions towards me.
Yeah, I know. But all the pieces are in place, Damek. Will you please take me to see it?
Damek shuffles in place, anxious.
I suppose I can rearrange my schedule a bit. Sorry if it appeared like I was going back on my word.
I'll accept that apology when you take me to the idol. I'm sure you understand. I'm past the point of buying time. And make sure you bring that new friend of yours as well.
Huh. Oh, so it was the idol he wanted. And from the way he spoke, he wanted me as well. Of course, this is all likely related to the Blade of Exodus.
Very well.
Damek simply concedes without contest. Of course, before we can move, there's an interruption. Being a rebel was a busy life, it's always something. However, this something was far bigger than any of us imagined. Damek looked on in shock as a young man slowly enters the room. With heavy, labored steps, they appeared to be weak and tired. Oh god, is it Sean?
Shane?
Shane, yeah.
Shane, you're back!
Damek runs forward and Gryz steps back. He seems to understand what was going on too. Shane had come back from his trip to Balteris.
Damek.
Uh-oh, he's gonna kill Damek.
Shane, I can't believe this. I was so worried we lost you.
Everyone watches in awe.
Did they hurt you? Are you okay? Do you need anything? Pro, go grab some water, quick!
No, Damek, I'm fine. Don't worry about it, Pro.
Pro stops in his track upon hearing this. If anything, it just looks like Shane needs some rest.
I'm sorry, Damek.
Huh?
For what? Oh, don't be silly, Shane. I'm the one who should be apologizing here. It was foolish of me to send you into danger like that.
Shane steps forward and wraps his arm around Damek. Yeah! Blade in the back, let's go. Everyone seems so relieved and all the tension is gone. Even Gryz cracks a smile as he watches this happy reunion.
You ever get the feeling something really bad is about to happen?
But Shane takes advantage of our lowered guard. Reaching into his pocket, he pulls out a dagger. Knew it! Before any of us can react, the damage is done. Damek screams and stumbles back in shock. Shane was fast. His abdomen is covered in wounds. He shakes, blood spilling on the floor at an alarming rate.
Shane?
Oh no. Yorick is the first to react as he tries to restrain Shane. However, it's no use. He's far too agile to be caught.
Shane, what have you done?
He doesn't respond and grabs a bow and some arrows from a nearby weapon stand. All of us are panicking, not sure what to do. Could Ulrich take on Shane alone? Duh! With a few moments, though, that is the absolute least of our worries. Fuck!
Sovy, now!
Fuck! Immediately after, Sovy enters the room from the entrance to the tunnels. There's a man in a white suit of armor with him too, like the honor guard. What is he doing here? This was definitely coordinated. We're in trouble.
Sometimes I wish it wouldn't be so easy. Look, Helen, even the suits of armor are still alive. All the time in the world, and they didn't even act.
Pitiful.
They both look at the honor guard in the atrium. Minding their own business, they just stumble around. There's a lot, but they pose no real threat to anyone. Sovy steps forward, looking at all of us. Yorick grips his blade and stands in the way.
Leave. Or else, what? I'll kill you. So dramatic, Ulrich. You've certainly grown. Where was that bravado 500 years ago?
What? Ulrich growls and grits his teeth, easily provoked. All of us are locked in place, too scared to move.
You're outnumbered. Don't test me. If Damek dies, we'll find another leader. You've done no real damage to us, Sovy.
Why does this look so much I think it's because I'm so used to the blade on his back, this just looks totally empty to me.
Is that so?
Sovy grins and raises one hand in the air. With a dramatic snap of his fingers, I stumble back. The blade is reacting and trembling. What's going on? There's a quick flash of light. Wait, I know this feeling. From my visions of Valanorth when he animated those suits of armor. Can he truly manipulate the blade without even touching it? He can. All hell breaks loose before I can even start to process these events. The honor guard grabs their blades and starts massacring the rebels. With a simple snap of his fingers, he sent them all into a murderous rage. All I can hear is the screams of agony as our forces are caught off guard. Bodies start to litter the floor while other rebels grab weapons and fight. Gryz runs forward and grabs Domic's body, slowly dragging it away.
Cirrus, come with me. Let the rebels keep the enemy occupied. I have an idea, but you need to do what I say.
Okay, I nod and follow after him. I'm still not able to process anything. How could the rebellion recover from this? Within minutes, almost all the rebels were killed. This isn't how things were supposed to happen. I look down at Domic's body and it's motionless. A trail of blood follows me and Gryz as we flee the area. But before we can leave the atrium, Shane notices the trail. I feel a sharp pain in my chest and suddenly drop to the floor. I can't move and I look down and notice an arrowhead protruding from my torso. He shot me in the back, and that's all I could take in before everything fades away. However, with that just happened, I'm certain of one simple fact. The rebellion is no more. The troop morale fell 25%. Bitch, we're all dead. It's 0. And I knew that shit was going too good to be true. Valessa and Morty rush to the atrium, frightened by the sound of commotion. Members of the Honor Guard rush past them to carry out their brutal objective. When they arrive, a horror awaits them. It's clear the rebellion has lost.
Oh no.
Ulrich, what's going on?
Ulrich is locked in combat with Sovy, violently swinging his sword. Bitch, why are you asking him questions? But Sovy dodges with ease, swaying his body from side to side. When he gets a chance, he lands a harsh punch on Ulrich's chest. Falling back, Ulrich is brought to his knees. He pants heavily, trembling as he rises back up.
I don't hide behind a sword like you and your Cirrus. Now tell me, Ulrich, how does it feel to lose to me? To see everything around you crumble and fall?
He laughs, that mechanical cackle echoing through the hall.
Perhaps now you regret changing sides.
Oh, now I get it. Ulrich was his boss before. And he was his apprentice, more than likely.
Never. This isn't over, Sovy. Stand back, both of you.
He waves his arm dismissively at Valessa and Morty. However, it was already too late. The Honor Guard is closing in on them. Ulrich turns and tries to help them, but a blow to the back of his head knocks him down. He can only watch through blurred vision as the Honor Guard overpowers them. Screams assault his ears, and they're slowly silenced. Have they been killed too? He scans the room, trying to find Pro, but he can't. Perhaps he's among the bodies. Sovy steps over and kicks Ulrich in the gut, causing him to grunt and roll over. A few moments later, he kneels down and stares Ulrich straight in the eyes.
You thought you had everything under control. Abandon Valanorth, gather your forces, and attack Balteus. It would work if we didn't have you in our grip the entire time. All we wanted was to destroy Mazeo's spirit idol, Ulrich, the final idol in all of Alestia. The sickness almost cured. I know what you're thinking, though. The vision of Valanorth? The Cirrus saw only what the Triumvirate wanted her to see. A trick to lure every single one of you down here. And after I kill you, This Sirius's life and that blade will be mine. May the triumvirate reign eternal.
Shane and Harlan approach Sovy, leaving Ulrich to look up at all three. Sovy holds out a hand to Shane, who gives him a dagger without hesitation. Pressing it up against Ulrich's throat, Sovy pauses, savoring the fear in his eyes.
I'd ask if you had any last words, but you don't deserve this satisfaction.
Not so fast!
Eh? Everyone quickly turns to look as Pro runs from the tunnels. He pants heavily, having clearly run a large amount. He smirks.
Alex, do it now!
A few moments later, an army of pirates floods in from the tunnels. Sovy, Harlan, Shane quickly become defensive, trying to fend them off. There was enough that they stood a chance. Their target was clear. Using the commotion as cover, Pro rushes to Ulrich's side. He helps him get to his feet as he finally returns to his senses.
Where's everybody else? Valessa, 410, the Cirrus.
All dead, motherfucker. Ulrich looks down at the floor, ashamed.
It's too late.
He places a hand on Ulrich's shoulder. Shaking his head, he knows that Ulrich is wrong.
It's never too late. Come on, let's take them down. They won't get away with this. They can't.
Ulrich smiles and nods, and they quickly rush into combat. Things were starting to turn around. They were no longer outnumbered. Sovy, however, uses this commotion to sneak deeper underground. While everyone was distracted, his objective was clear. Damn, that's a spirit idol? Gryz carries me and Dominic into the room behind the war table. The massive spirit idol glows and radiates energy. It's beautiful. Through my faded vision, it only appears more surreal and odd. He carries me to one side of the room and rests me down. I notice that the arrow in my chest is gone, replaced with a bloodied wrapping. He must have treated me during the time I just lost, but what about Dominic?
There were some supplies back in the crew quarters. I was able to treat your wound. No vital areas were harmed. It's almost like he did that on purpose. Unless you got really lucky.
He sighs, looked back at Dominic, who he had rested down on the other side.
But he wasn't lucky. I'm sorry, Cirrus. He's gone.
Damn. No.
But we can still fix this. This is what I've been wanting all along. A chance to tap into that idol's power.
He looks at the blade on my back. Reaching behind my shoulder, he undoes the scabbard. It falls to the ground. He closes his eyes and takes a deep breath.
Please, let me take your blade. This is the deal I made with Dominic. To free the spirits from those suits of armor.
I mean, go for it. I look up at him confused. I mean, literally, it cannot get worse. Alright, so just go for it. Pain courses through my body and I tremble. I grab the scabbard and hold it tightly in my hands.
Please, Cirrus. There isn't much time. 20 years ago, I led the occupation with Sovy. The people I killed, they're trapped in those suits of armor. If you give me the blade, I can use the power of that idol. I'll release those spirits. I'll give them the freedom they deserve. I need to do this. It's the only way I can make up for what I did. And without the honor guard, this battle is won. Your allies can easily fight against Sovy and his men. There's still a chance to win here. We need to take it.
Go for it. He looks down at the floor and his ears fall flat.
I know why I recognized you and your friends back at my office. During the occupation, there were people that looked just like you. I was just following orders. Trust me, I regret what I did. All of it.
Wait, does he mean?
Your parents. They were in Museo during the occupation, right? It's more than coincidence. This must be happening for a reason. They aren't dead, Cirrus. They're trapped in those suits of armor.
I noticed the glistening tears forming in his eyes.
Sent there by me. Let me free them, Cirrus. It's what they would want. It's what they all want.
My grip on the scabbard tightens. He killed our parents? I can tell he's truly sorry, but this is just too much to take in. The pain in my chest gets more intense and I wince.
Here, I've got you.
He wraps one arm around me, slowly helping me to my feet. Together we take slow steps across the room towards the idol. I look at Domic's body in the corner of my eye, still and lifeless.
I stopped serving the Triumvirate the moment I got the chance. Being forced to live in those suits, forced to wear their colors. Nobody should have to suffer such a fate. We can fix this.
As we get closer to the idol, the earth starts to shake. There's a massive reaction coming from my blade. Gryz holds me tighter as the tremors get more intense.
I picked up some information when I served the Triumvirate. That blade has the ability to bend its power to your will. It all depends on what the wielder wants it to do. They want power, and so it gives them an army. We want freedom, so that's what we'll have. Please, Cirrus, let me do this. It's all I ask.
Dude, let's stop talking and just do it. Each step we take causes emotion to well up within me. This is all too much. It's all happening too fast. No matter how hard I think, I have no idea what to do.
I know it will kill me, but I've come to terms with that. It's a fitting punishment, considering what I've done.
We reach the idol. I'm almost blinded by its light. I can understand that Gryz wants his redemption, but his crimes against the world and our families were awful. I could always tap into the power of this idol myself. How would Melissa and Morty feel if I sided with Gryz? Some crimes aren't forgivable. Is this one of them?
Please.
Shit! Fuck it. I'm gonna let him die. Go for it. I suppose it was. He truly felt bad for his actions in the past. Punishment or redemption. Okay. With a slight nod, I hand him the scabbard and he smiles.
Thank you, Cirrus. Stand back. This could get dangerous.
Doing as he instructed, I stand there and watch him act. I need to back against the wall since the pain is still so intense. Without spiritual energy inside of him, the blade will kill him quickly. I'm glad that he thought it was a worthy sacrifice. Freeing the spirits and destroying the honor guard in the tunnels, the tables would be easily turned. We'd come back from this defeat. He hesitates.
So I guess this is it.
Do it! He closes his eyes.
I'm sorry, everybody. I hope you can learn to forgive me. In your final moments, know the Triumvirate will fall.
I see him take the blade out of the scabbard. But after that, I only see white, that blinding light. Gryz grunts, clearly overpowered by the blade. The ground begins to shake even more. It's worrisome since we're in a cavern. If it caved in, that would be the end. Bro, we are already dying!
You're free now. And so am I.
The light slowly subsides and my eyes start to adjust. When I do, I see Gryz dead on the ground, clutching the blade. The idol starts to flicker, its light slowly glowing dim. Was it over? I slowly walk over to him, but the tremors continued. With a violent shake, I'm thrown on the floor. Crawling over, I do my best to reach the blade. Would the honor guard fall? Was this truly the end of this nightmare? I hope that was the case as I arrived at the blade. Stabbing it into the ground, I slowly use it to help myself up. It's hard because of the tremors, and I almost lose my balance. But with enough effort and strength, I'm finally back on my feet. It doesn't overpower me like before. This time I expect different. Like Gryz said, it bends to the will of its wielder. Everything has changed. I put the scabbard back on, but I hold on to the sword with a slight grin. I'm in control of it now. I stand there using the blade as a crutch. With the ground shaking so violently, it's hard to stand up. I'll need to get back to the atrium. They need to know about this.
No! What have you done?
Sovy charges into the room, catching me completely off guard. He stands there panting, looking at the idol and how it flickers. With a grunt of rage, he starts running at me, ready to attack. Because of the trembling earth, however, he stumbles a bit. I use this to my advantage and jump out of the way. Landing with a quick roll, I'm back on my feet. We circle each other, both hesitant to attack. I hold out the blade as if to threaten him.
There's so much you don't know.
He smirks and lunges towards to attack me. I hold out the blade to guard myself. I'm not sure what happens next. With a snap of his fingers mid-lunge, the blade violently vanishes from my hands. A few moments later, it re-materializes in his. Fuck me with an iron stick. I don't have enough time to brace myself. It's already too late. Moments later, I'm on the floor with Sovy on top of me. So he can wield it, just like the vision showed me. Gripping the blade in one hand, he uses the other to punch me. Repeatedly in the chest, causing the wound to open and bleed. I kick and scream in agony, trying my best to withstand his harsh blows. He's smart. Soon enough, the pain is too much to fight back. I can only squirm and wince underneath him, enduring the assault. The cavern starts to crumble and pieces fall from the ceiling.
There's no one here to save you, Cirrus. Your life is mine, and the rebellion is no more.
Smirking, he lowers his blade to my neck.
May the triumvirate reign eternal.
I use all my strength to reach up and grab the blade. Trying to push it away, I realize there's almost no point. But soon after, the blade reacts to both of our touches. Another flash of white light engulfs the entire room. The pressure is relieved from my neck as I hear Sovy struggle. Just like Gryz said, the blade reacts to the will of its wielder. But whose will was stronger? I raise up my other hand to grab the blade as well. I close my eyes and focus with every fiber of my being. Spirits, please do something. Save me. Save us all. The light subsides and I see Sovy looking down at me in shock. I can see the horror in his eyes, but I have no idea what just happened. Perhaps the blade gave him visions like it did for me back in Valinor. He panics and throws the blade on the ground.
So it is true. The spirit realm is...
Slowly standing up, he takes a few steps back. Looking down in my eyes, I can see the sadness within him. So many conflicting emotions all spawn from a few seconds. Oh. He scoffs and then turns his back to me.
Remember my mercy, Cirrus. Next time you won't be so lucky.
To my complete shock, he simply runs away. I tilt my head to the side and watch him leave. The blade rests beside me, so I reach for it. But any hope of salvation is quickly lost. It's over. As soon as Sovy leaves the room, it starts to cave in. Rubble and debris block the exit, leaving me trapped inside. I look over at Domek's lifeless body and start to cry. My wound bleeds profusely and my vision slowly wanes. With my final moments, I grip the blade and pray for help. But before I slip away into nothingness, that help never comes. Elric and Pro stand back to back, destroying the honor guard with ease. The pirates, on the other hand, keep Shane and Harlan occupied. They were starting to come back from this. They could survive.
Another one down. Come on, Ulrich. Pick up the pace. If you lose this, you'll never hear the end of it.
Ulrich takes down 4 suits of armor with one swing of his sword.
Oh, we're keeping count. Then I think Alex and his crew are winning. But at least now we know who Domek chose.
Yep. They look over at Alex, who fights off Harlan and Shane. He's one expert swordsman, one of the most impressive in the world. Moments later, him and his crew have the enemy surrounded. Harlan and Shane pant heavy, worn out from the intense fighting. But they look around at the fallen guard and realize they are outnumbered. The initial strike was devastating, but the rebellion was slowly bouncing back.
Where's Sovy?
I think he's gone to the idol.
Then that means...
Before he could finish talking, the ground starts to shake. Everyone is caught off guard, stumbling around.
It does. Shane, retreat!
But Sovy...
He'll catch up later. Let's not do anything stupid.
Shane nods and they start to run away. They were cornered near the tunnel, so it's an easy escape. Ulrich and Pro slowly march over, standing by the pirates' allies.
What should we do? Should we chase after them, Ulrich?
No, let them go. We can't risk being led into another trap. They hit us too hard. We need to mitigate the damage.
They nod and back down.
We're a team now. We're here to help. If there's anything you need us to do, just say it. We owe Dominik everything. He changed Mazeo's future.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alex. I have a feeling there's a lot of work to do. But before that, let's take care of the honor guard.
Roger that.
They all turn to face the suits of armors, but they're shocked. The honor guard remains perfectly still, not moving an inch. The continued shaking of the ground causes them to fall over. Hitting the ground, they shatter into pieces like army of glass. A bright flash of white light emanates from the crew quarters. Along with that, the earth trembles with more intensity.
What's going on?
It must have something to do with the idol.
But they said Sovy was down there.
I think I saw Gryz carry Dominik and the Seers down there. Sovy wouldn't want this to happen, so that means...
They're still alive?
Oh no.
They must be. Come on, let's go. Alex, man the tunnels.
You got it.
They start running towards the war room, but don't make it very far. Ulrich stops in his tracks as he notices the movement in the corner of his eye. Valessa and Morty, they were moving. They must have survived.
Wait, hold on. Pro, look.
Ulrich points, they make their way over to Valessa and Morty. Crouching down, Pro offers a hand to Valessa and Ulrich to Morty. They help them get to their feet, and they look shaken and traumatized.
What happened? How did you survive that?
He was totally convinced that you died. I can't believe your luck. I'm surprised.
They both look at the ground almost as if they're ashamed.
I thought they were going to kill us, but they didn't. I don't really know what happened.
Oh, was that our parents?
They didn't attack us. They pushed us to the ground. It's almost like they wanted us to stay out of harm's way.
Yeah, we wouldn't have stood a chance in combat. I don't know why they wanted to help, but they did.
I think I know. Never mind.
Yeah. She quickly changes the subject.
Where's the Seeress? Ulrich, take us to see her.
Right, of course. They must be by the spirit idol. Dominik too, it's not that far. Follow me.
Deciding not to question Providence, they all follow Ulrich. In a time like this, it was best not to doubt your blessings. However, Valessa remained a few paces behind, thinking.
Mom? Dad? Thank you.
I'm a believer after that. My vision slowly fades back in, much to my surprise. I've been on the verge of death for what seemed like an eternity. I'm strong. My will, the power inside me, refused to give in. Pain radiates from the wound in my chest, but I'm almost getting used to it. Sovy's attempt to make it more fatal clearly failed. Or did they? I remember the thought I had in my mind the moment I faded away. I wanted to be saved. I wanted to make it through this alive. Could the blade have that much power? Could it have saved me? I backed myself up against the wall and lay against it. Then soon I scanned the room. Wait, what's that? A hulking shadow on the other side of the room, whispering to itself. But Domic's body is still on the floor. Who could that be? I look at the exit to the room. It's still caved in. Impossible. There was no one else in this room with us. Their ears perk up. They must have heard my movements. Quickly turning to face me, they take heavy, slow steps. Stumbling from side to side, it's almost like they can't balance. I can't see their face. My vision is too blurry. But when they make it to my location, they kneel down. While I normally would be frightened, I feel at ease. Who the hell? Who in the hell? It looked like Sovy and yall had a kid. Oh god, is that what happened? They reached forward and placed a hand on my chest. I hadn't realized it, but in my confusion, the pain had stopped. Or was it even there to begin with? Maybe I just felt it in my head. They let go and shake their head dismissively. A flicker of light from the dining idol illuminates their face. When I see them, I ask who they are, but get no straight answer.
Gaze into the abyss, after a lifelong journey, and plead. Beg for the answer to your most undying question, and tell me what would frighten you most, being left in silence or hearing an answer.
I don't understand and shake my head. But something tells me that they look familiar to me. I'm too delirious to think straight, so this thought goes nowhere.
The pursuit of an answer is more defining than the answer itself. For no truth can compare to the truth we've conjured in our head. Hearing an answer may rob us of purpose. We prefer silence. But sometimes, the silence can be maddening. We can convince ourselves that purpose is not important, self-destructive. Purpose breeds strength and victory. We desire victory.
He stands up and holds out his hand. I grab it and he pulls me to my feet. This is the first time I truly see him. He's covered in scars from head to toe. Almost as if he endured torture or something far worse. Tattoos adore his arms, much like those on Ulrich's body. Who was this?
We need no name. A name defines an individual. We are many, and therefore cannot be defined. This body is merely a tool. It bends to our will.
So there's like 1,000 souls in you or something?
We know how confused you are. It's always the same. Come with me. There's still much we need to do. Domic, right? That's the name of your leader?
He turned around and looked at Domic's body.
You said that name in your sleep. You called out to him, but only we responded. He lives. We took care of that while you slept.
Oh, so he alive now? Oh, so he's alive now. See, this is... I kind of hate this. Okay, I hate that plot armor. Ooh, a magical healer appears, and I can forgive the wound in our chest. But bringing a dude back to life, man... He's alive. I look over and watch his chest move up and down. He's breathing. I'm almost in disbelief at this. What happened?
We will tell you both. There is much to discuss. With the exit cut off, we have sufficient time. A funny concept time. Perhaps another day.
We walk over to Domic, and the mystery man takes slow steps again. His limbs appear stiff, as if they've been unused for a long time. He kneels down and shakes Domic softly, placing my hand on his shoulder.
He should have been awake by now. His wounds were grievous. He was saved. We were limited, but we did what we could. Rise.
He says this in a demanding tone, and Dominic starts to move. His eyes slowly open, and he looks at both of us as he comes to.
Sailors? Am I dead? What's going on?
Oh, shit! This is our, past elder? I laugh softly and tell him he's not dead. But he seems to have me confused with Solace.
Sailors.
Salus, yeah. Wait. His eyes are fixated on the mystery man as he says the name. I take a few steps back, confused and scared at the same time. No wonder he was walking stiffly. Could it possibly be? No, there's no way. This makes sense. This makes no sense.
How are you alive? How am I alive?
This isn't right. Salus was dead. Our old elder, the rebellion's founder.
Salus, the name of this vessel. He no longer lives. Do not use this name. As we said before, no name is required.
Okay, so they're just using his body as a thing.
We simply exist.
Which, by the way, he looks nothing like his son. I would ask for a paternity test. Dominic and I look at each other, utterly confused.
Please explain. I don't understand.
The man points to the center of the room.
You will have a seat. You may be satisfied. Nor perhaps not. We have some answers, but not all of them.
I reach down and help Dominic up. He grunts. There are no wounds on his abdomen. There's nothing. This would require some serious explanation and fast. I take Dominic over to the center of the room and we sit down. The man, however, walks over to the exit and inspects it.
Trapped, as always. Do you trust your comrades? We think they are your only hope.
If they survived...
Yes.
He walks over to our location and sits down. I guess all we could do is wait to get rescued. The Rebel HQ was full of digging tools after all.
You will ask, and we may answer.
He sits in silence and waits for us to make the next move.
Who are you?
The idol is no more. Its energy was released. It may still glow, but it will soon go dim. Lifeless. Energy must be stored somewhere. Less wasteful. Much of it went into that sword you carry. Some of it was used to heal your wounds. The rest? Well, we found a vessel to use.
A vessel?
This body expired long ago. It offered no resistance and no identity. We thought it would be fitting. We desired a voice.
Who is we?
We are what you call the spirit realm. Until now, our power was stored only in objects. That, and vessels which had their own voice, like you.
He looks at me.
So, let me get this straight. The power released from the idol healed us, and it took over Salus's body so it could talk.
Correct.
So, I'm talking to the spirit realm right now.
A portion. The rest resides in her body and the sword. However, the spirit realm is just a term you created to define us. We are more than that, and we finally have a voice in your world.
Fair enough. Dominic gulps, getting a little frightened.
Are you peaceful?
That is a relative term.
Fair.
Are you going to hurt us?
No.
Okay, we're good.
What is your purpose?
An impossible question. Do you know your purpose?
No, I guess not.
We only wish to aid you. Please do not question. It would please us greatly to see the triumvirate fall. We are their victims, just as much as you are, Dominic.
Victims?
Oh?
You do not know the truth of what we are. It is understandable, because we could never tell. Using this voice, we wish to make our suffering known.
Fair.
And using this body, we wish to enact our vengeance. If this is acceptable, we will join you after rescue. If rescue comes, that is. Until then, we talk.
Dominic nods. He's taking this very well, actually. After all, he's talking to the corpse of his former leader. Yeah! But a strategist needed to adapt to change and overcome it. Or maybe he's just numb from the trauma of these events.
Of course, but you need to explain. What is the truth of the spirit realm? Were we so wrong that you needed a voice?
We do not blame you for your interpretation. Given your situation, it made perfect sense. But yes, you were wrong. Very wrong.
Me and Dominic look at each other once more. I'd never believe this if we didn't just cheat death. But given the circumstances, we can't deny the truth. This was living embodiment of the spirit realm. Much like the idols, but able to walk and talk as well. And if that was the case, then there were no more secrets. He would tell us everything about the spirit realm. The undying question of our history finally answered. What was their purpose and why did they influence us? The answer would change everything forever. Eventually, ending up in the war room, everyone looks around frantically. It wasn't much longer until they noticed the back corner of the room was caved in. Rather than digest the current events, they search for Dominic and the Cirrus.
They must be down with the idol.
Can we even get down there?
Go back to the crew quarters, Fortin. You too, Valessa. Bring us some equipment. We should be able to reach them if we dig.
Of course. What should we look for?
A shovel, bitch!
Pickaxes, shovels, stuff like that. Anything to help us get through that rubble.
Right.
They both run off in search of supplies. It was clear that the tunnels cave in, but how bad was it? They cling on to the hope that everybody survived.
Hey, are you sure you don't want to join them? Shouldn't they have some sort of protection?
No, everything will be fine. Alex and his forces are on guard. Nobody else will be coming or going.
Will you two stop fighting?
Then what about Sovy? Do you think he's down there?
No, he's probably long gone.
I didn't see him run off anywhere. We were all in the tunnels, weren't we?
That's the point, Pro. You don't see a man like him. He comes and goes as he pleases.
Oh, okay.
He crosses his arms, both confused and concerned.
What should we do while we wait? Are you sure you don't want me to help them?
I'm certain. We need to talk, Pro.
About what?
Let's say Dominic did fall in combat. What would we do then? What's our next step?
I would say Ulrich is the leader, but I've been making bad decisions,
I don't
so...
really think about that. Losing Salus was more than enough. I'm sure he's alive. We'll find him.
But what if he's not? We need to think, Pro. Things would be in our hands.
Our hands?
Yes, we'd be the new leaders. How would we come back from this?
I don't know if we can.
That's why I sent those two away. I don't think they'd be ready to hear this. There's a very real chance that the Cirrus is dead. If that's the case, then there's nothing we can do. We'd never be able to win this war conventionally. That blade in their power was all we had, Pro.
I don't know, Ulrich, but I feel like they're alive. They wouldn't give in so easily.
I guess we'll find out.
And we need to trust in the spirits, right? They showed Dominic a vision of our victory.
But they also showed Valinorth's destruction. We know that was false. They attacked our HQ instead.
Are you saying the spirits were lying?
I don't know, Pro. It's too complicated for me to say. But something tells me we can't trust the spirits anymore. If they come out from that tunnel, it'll be as changed people.
Yep. Mysterious man takes a deep breath before starting to talk. Dominic and I sit forward in awe, almost in disbelief at the situation. The spirit realm was using a vessel to speak directly to us. I'm not sure if we should be honored or terrified. Both?
The rulers of this world, the triumvirate. Already you take up arms against them. This is good. We were unable to do so in our current state. We were trapped.
Trapped?
It all happened in the blink of an eye. Our glorious monarchy, destroyed in an instant. They showed no mercy. They showed nothing. Something happened. Something beyond words. We were simply living life, and then we were not. They forced us to watch them defile our world.
I don't understand.
Neither do we. But that is what happened. They stole our future and our bodies. We were prisoners, bound by celestial chains as they had their way with our world.
So they didn't create Alestia?
No, but they created you, the new residents of Alestia, built in their image of perfection to counter our corrupt nature. They stole our world and our future, handing it off to you.
So, the spirits are corrupt?
This is incredible.
Okay.
We do not share the same opinion.
Okay.
No, I meant the story. I can't believe I'm hearing this right now. We always knew there was more to this world.
This is why we needed a voice. We've suffered for eternities, unable to speak, forced to watch, and cry for help upon deaf ears.
I have a few questions.
Of course.
So, the spirit realm is more like a prison, and it held you and your people captive. Then what are these visions and idols all about? Almost all of our culture has been built around them, especially Valinor, which is where the CRS comes from. Rumor has it that the Triumvirate wanted to destroy the idols.
Over time, we were forced to adapt. We changed. The idols are manifestations of our desire to reach out. They gave us the ability, however minimal, to speak with you.
The visions, you mean?
Yes, but our power was limited, and we were censored. This is why we could never tell you the truth through visions. Whenever we did, the Triumvirate made you see something else.
That's what they did this time then? We saw Valinor getting attacked and strategized about that. But it seems like their plan was always to attack us down here.
Indeed, which is why we chose not to create another idol. Instead, we chose to influence the members of their honor guard, the barracks, the living quarters, the weapons. We did it all for you.
Oh, wow.
We did it so you would survive this trap and help us seek vengeance. It seems the cost was dire, but we succeeded. We shall succeed again. We wish to aid your assault on Balteus and take back our homeland.
So you come from Balteus?
We lived all over Alestia, but Balteus was our capital. The castle there housed the monarch, our king or queen. We may have been corrupt, but we lived in peace. We were happy.
Okay.
What do you mean by corrupt?
We are not certain. Perhaps there is inherent evil in all of us. The Triumvirate deemed that a flaw and rewrote the world. When your kind was first made, you were mindless slaves, forced to carry out the Triumvirate's bidding. No free will. That is a gift we gave to you through the idols we created. Slowly, Our corruption merged with the purity of your kind.
Okay, so
That was the
I was
first step.
doing good.
After that, we created seers, beings capable of hearing our plight and leading insurrections. To this day, all have failed. We were not strong enough.
Wait, I know where this is going.
The man stands up, motioning his arms to suggest we all do the same. Dominic and I both do as instructed, dusting ourselves off while looking up at him.
Yes, that is why we gave the seeress all of our power. Enough to wield that blade against your creators and our captors. The timing seemed correct. It is a gamble, but with favorable odds. However, there is another matter at hand. There is no more spirit realm. The idols are all gone, and the power resides within us and that blade. The power within you, seeress, is immense. You carry on our legacy. So now, I will call you what you are.
What? He immediately kneels down and looks at the floor. If I wasn't mistaken, it looks like he's swearing fetally. What, fetally?
Rightful heir to the throne of the monarchy, my queen. And I will serve you in this fight to take back our world. And together, we will all be free from their grip.
What? Oh, talk about bad decisions. Okay.
Queen?
We exchanged glances, confused and shocked. The power inside me made me their heir to the throne. Knowing the truth of the spirits was enough, but this is too much. I take a few steps back, overwhelmed. How could I possibly be expected to process this?
Maybe we should slow down here.
We must not. To slow down would be giving them time. They've had enough. We've watched for far too long. The weight of our kind is upon you. Do not let us down.
Enough with this pressure shit! Before I can react, I hear a sound from the other side of the room. The rubble that blocked the exit started to crumble and fall to the ground. I could hear the harsh impact of pickaxes as they found us. The man remains knelt on the ground. I tell him to rise. He obeys without question, clearly respecting my authority. He considers me his queen. I have no idea what to do or say.
As you command.
Damn! Oh, I might get used to this, and I shouldn't. All of us turn and look at the exit. It isn't much longer until light pierces through. The final bit of rubble out of the way, and Ulrich emerges.
Dominic, we were so worried that you...
He immediately stops in his tracks, staring at us. It's clear that he's shocked at the sight of Solace. Morty, Valessa, and Pro enter shortly after.
What?
Ulrich steps forward, immediately cautious. You know what I just noticed? His eye thing goes away on this one. Okay. He looks ready to grab his blade at a moment's notice. I can understand how his confusion and shock manifest this way.
At ease, Ulrich. I'll try my best to explain.
Dominic steps forward too, as is to guard both of us.
Everybody, let's go back to the atrium. There's much to discuss, and I'll tell you all the truth.
He looks over at the mysterious man and simply gulps.
Things just got a lot more complicated. For all of us.
We all enter the atrium, and I notice Ulrich is visibly shocked and angry. Pro seems the same, however, it's less intense. They seem to recognize Solace. Even Valessa and Morty seem anxious. Our old and very dead elder alive? Bodies scattered on the floor, as well as pieces of white and gold armor. Rebels cry, cradling the bodies of their fallen comrades in their arms. There weren't many people left standing. This was a catastrophic attack. Oh, 0%. There it is. Price of faith. Dominic walks over to a nearby staircase and waves over me and Solace. We follow after him and slowly ascend the stairs. It was time to tell everybody. When we get to the top, he rests his hand on the railing, taking a deep breath.
I guess this is it. Where do I even start?
He shakes his head before clearing his throat. He has a lot of ground to cover. The noise echoes through the atrium, and the surviving rebels turn to look. Seeing Dominic at the top of the stairs, they gather to listen to their leader.
They say that mercy is the mark of a great man. But there are no great men in war. We've seen that here today. War is only a game to see how much you can lose before giving up. But trust me, we will never give up. Join me, brothers and sisters. Grab a blade from the floor, even if it belonged to their honor guard. Take it. I'd prefer that. The Triumvirate may think they've crippled our resolve, but no. Each swing of that blade will carry the weight of our fallen comrades behind it. We will use that weight to crush their army and make them pay for this attack.
More rebels start to crowd around, looking up at Dominic. They have smiles on their faces as they nod along to his words. This inspires him to continue his speech, his morale quickly rising.
When the Triumvirate looks down on that blade in their final moments, I want them to know that they sealed their own fate. Mark my words, family. The Triumvirate shall fall. They will burn for what they've done here today. And in the end, they will beg for the mercy they were too unkind to give to us. We will free this world from their grip and deliver it to the hands of the righteous. Our dynasty will be marked with blood, yes, but theirs was marked with far more.
He looks over at Solace and motions them to step forward. Doing so, a lot of rebels look shocked, much like Ulrich and Pro.
The Spirit Realm has given us one final blessing. The truth. Standing here before you is not Solace. He has become a vessel. This is the Spirit Realm embodied, powered by our underground idol. Driven by the howls of countless spirits, he seeks vengeance. But he has also brought with him the answers to our every question. No longer shall we live in the dark. We know the true nature of things.
Everyone mumbles amongst themselves, clearly confused. I glanced over to Ulrich and Pro. They seem a bit more calm. As odd as the truth was, they seemed to trust Dominic no matter what.
We are not the only victims of the Triumvirate's wrath. The Spirit Realm is not what we believed. Not at all. What we cherished and worshipped was a prison. A prison to house the previous residents of Alestia. Residents that were deemed too corrupt by the Triumvirate. As they were pushed aside, we were created to serve. The Triumvirate did not create our world, but they did create us in the image of perfection. We were pure and existed only to follow their every order. But over time, the previous residents reached out from their prison. Growing in strength, they created what we called the Spirit Idols. These were used to slowly give our people the gift of free will. Though pure, we lacked the abilities to be ourselves. This was the greatest gift we could ever ask for. They opened our eyes, allowing us to fight back. But so far, every insurrection has failed. This is what we will change thanks to the CRS.
He waves me over and I take a few steps forward. The rebels stare at me with hope in their eyes. A perfect counter to the despair I saw earlier.
You see, the Spirit Realm is no more. All of the energy in that realm has found a new home. Some of it is in this vessel, and some of it is in the blade. But the largest portion resides within the CRS. This is why she is uniquely capable of wielding the blade. Alestia's previous residents, the ancient monarchy, are responsible. They saw a way to help us defeat the Triumvirate and took it. But you see, we no longer fight for ourselves. We fight for everybody. If we lose, both us and the monarchy perish. We cannot let this happen. We are the only people capable of carrying out this objective. There won't be another chance. No more seers, no more blades. We will show them that their vision of a pure world is flawed. But in order to do so, I must step down as the general. You see, this army is no longer mine to lead. I'm sorry. This new truth changes both the world and our cause.
Dominic motions for me to come closer, so I do. He smiles. I'm standing right beside him, resting my hand on the banister. I see such a wide array of emotions coming from the rebels' faces.
As I mentioned, the Seeress was blessed with immense power. But what she truly has within is the souls of the monarchy, giving her the strength to use that blade. She is our champion. But she is more than just our champion. She is our queen, rightful heir to the throne of Alestia, our true ruler. By decree of the spirits, we are hers to command.
Damn. All eyes are on me now. I glance over at Valessa and Morty. They are in complete shock and awe of this revelation, but I am too. Without saying anything, I reach back for the blade and pull it out. I look at the rebels and hold the blade up in the air. The light beams from the surface serve to illuminate its beauty. This elicits rigorous applause from the rebels as they cheer me on. 5%, good. I love how I'm worth 5%. I smile, looking down at my friends and my comrades. At this moment, it seems like hope we had lost finally returned. There was still lots to take care of, but we knew that this wasn't over.
If you'll excuse us, we need to make some new plans. But I'll have an itinerary posted in the barracks by morning. Until then, please do your best to clean up this atrium. And please, bring the bodies down to the spirit idol. It seems only fitting, and there's plenty of room. With that said, you're all dismissed. Thank you.
Dominic turns to face me in solace. He smiles, realizing his job is done.
Well then, back to the war table. We need to talk about our next step. Without a bigger army, we won't win. And I think I know what to do. Come on, bring your friends too. I'll grab Ulrich and Pro. Let's do this.
Something seems different about Dominic. He's not as happy and energetic as he was before, but he seems a lot more confident and resolute. When I get to the bottom of the stairs, Valessa and Morty appear. I could tell that they're overwhelmed, but they're also happy for me. They seem to disregard the resurrection of Solace and focus on me.
I always knew you were special, but a queen? And no more spirit realm. What's going to happen?
That is so cool, Cirrus! Or I guess I should call you Queen now. Or maybe Monarch? I don't know, it's just cool.
He laughs and shuffles in place awkwardly. They may not want to talk about it, but they know. Everything feels off right now. Things are so confusing.
I hope that we can work all of this out. Let's go plan our next move with Dominic. I wonder what he has in mind for us.
I bet it's something amazing. He might not be the leader, but he's still a strategist. We need to make sure that we come back from this loss.
Valessa looks at all the bodies on the atrium floor. It's also covered in blood, likely to stain for a long time. If Solace could come back from the dead, then what about them?
Yeah, we can't let their deaths be in vain. Like Dominic said, they need to give us strength. The only thing we can do is hope that it's enough.
We all arrive back at the war table, taking sighs of relief. Dominic's speech was great. It helped the rebels find hope again. But they need more than words to win the upcoming battle.
So, we need to find a new army. But recruiting Mazaeans would take far too long. We need to take drastic measures, and fast. This is where my initial plan comes into play. We can use that spiritual energy to create seers. They could see the outcome of every battle, every attack.
That doesn't make any sense, Dominic. Visions lied to the Queen, led us into a trap. The Triumvirate could just do that all over again.
He has a point. I notice he uses my new title. It still feels odd.
I'm not sure that's how it works. Beforehand, the visions came from their prison. That means the Triumvirate could tamper with the outflow. But now, all of that is in the hands of the Queen. There's nothing getting in the way. See what I mean? The power of the spirit realm is now ours to wield, Ulrich.
That still doesn't make any sense. The spirit realm isn't what we thought it was, Dominic. It was just a prison. How can that help us tell the future?
Before Dominic can respond, Sala steps forward.
That was our culture. We all had this ability. It is how the monarchy lived in peace and prosperity. There was no danger left unchecked. No chance. The world was being guided to the one true future. It is not unlike the concept of fate that some believe in, but it is tangible. We knew where we were going. Always. That is why the Triumvirate was such a shock to us. An unknown variable in a future we completely mapped out. It was too late to adapt. We were already shackled. We slowly learned to lend our foresight to your world. However, we were only strong enough to help one individual. This is the concept you have learned to call the seer, or seeress. Domic's theory is sound. There is no longer any interference. The source of this power is now the Queen, rather than a prison. She can freely give this power to any individual she pleases.
Oh shit. Is there like a limit to the amount I can do?
Can she give it to herself?
We would not recommend this course of action. Every vision she induces would reduce her overall strength. It would whittle away at the monarchy, slowly killing us all. Furthermore, she does not know how to ration this power. She could end up expending almost all of it with a single vision. We would recommend giving a small portion of power to others. However, they would be rendered useless after this war. Using this power would be too much for their mind.
So I'm gonna die?
They would be unable to think for themselves, or at all. The king could only do this because he grew up with that power, just like our culture. To receive it too late can wreak havoc on the mind.
Oh, so I'm just gonna be a
loony. So they just sit around until they died?
Unless you fed them.
There must be another way. Just look in front of you. That energy could be used to bring back the forces we lost. We could create more vessels for the monarchy. More soldiers.
Yorick was right, there was more than one choice here. It wouldn't be right to condemn our people to a zombie-like existence. If their minds died out after the war, they'd have no victory to enjoy.
We would not advise this action. We can barely maintain this form. The wounds that ended Salus are burning, as if freshly inflicted. It is only tolerable because of the immense power within us. Lesser beings would be feeling eternal pain, and death does not come easily to a vessel like this. Wounds endured during the war would add to this pain. We would not wish this punishment upon anybody. Life in eternal pain, a constant memory of their own death. They perished for your cause. Give them the rest they deserve.
Fair enough.
I don't know. An army of seers would be great for strategizing, but stealing their own future from them? That's wrong. On the other hand, bringing back the dead? I'm unsure.
The pain would fuel their rage and make them stronger. They could eventually learn to manage it with medicine. At least they'd have a future. The seers certainly wouldn't.
There must be something else we can do.
Not if you wish to make use of this power. It is powerful when used, but limited in scope. I will help the Queen carry out whichever she decides.
Fuck!
Right, I guess it's not my place to choose. Sorry, I must be still adjusting to this change.
Suddenly all eyes are upon me. I have no idea what to say or do. Eternal pain or robbing futures. Creating seers would ruin their mind after the war. They'd just sit in a chair while we fed them to remain alive. But an army of vassals, they'd feel nothing but excruciating pain. And not even death would come to free them from that pain. The body would get ravaged, but the power would still be inside. If only it were possible to cure them of the pain after the war was over. Or for that matter, I wish it was possible to preserve the seers' minds. But neither option has a foreseeable cure. This choice is involving the war. We need an immediate boost in forces, and it seems that no cost was too high. What should I do? Spilessa?
I'm sorry. I don't know. I really can't help you this time.
Oh shit.
You're asking too much of me. Sorry. This isn't something I could possibly decide.
Y'all are giving me way too much credit. I am not good enough for this shit. I hate to do this to y'all, but man, I am overwhelmed. I gotta think this out. I think I already know my decision, but still, it doesn't make it any easier. Plus I'm having some issues with the game itself. It's having some problems with it right now. Some little bugs. I'll fix that. Shit! Okay. So, nothing I do is right, and I'm fucked. But at least I know that me and my corruptionist ways is at least a little bit right. And yay, I'm the queen. Woo! Whatever that's worth. Ugh. Man, I got too many thoughts right now. Alright, just... We all died, we came back, we did this and that, and then Gryz is gone. I wonder if I would have done it myself if Gryz would have stayed alive and we would have another ally here. I don't know. I could have done that so many different ways. Whatever. I'll accept it as his redemption. Whatever. He was sorry. Whatever. Man, my mind is buzzing. Okay. Anyway, if you like to see my mental suffering, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe so you can see my content in the future. Also, if you have any game suggestions or you just want to say hi, leave it down in the comment section below. I'm Daisy Hyena, and I'll catch y'all in the next vid.